This question says, show how to use the intermediate value theorem to show that the equation x squared minus root 3x equals 1 has a solution between 0 and 3. How would you do that? Like if somebody gives you this equation, how would you know for sure that there's an answer to that equation? There's an x value somewhere between x equals 0 and x equals 3, somewhere between 0 and 3, that's going to make that true. How do you know that? Well, we know it from the graph and from the intermediate value theorem. This is right here, the function, x squared minus root 3x. In order for the intermediate value theorem to apply, we must first check that it's continuous. So that's what you want to choose there. The intermediate value theorem is all about a function being continuous. It basically says if a function is continuous, it's got to take on all the intermediate values between 2 points on a certain interval. Okay, so and here's the graph, so that's certainly continuous. You don't pick up your pen anywhere, right? So continuous means just continues, as opposed to like if you drew and then you jumped and went up here, that's not continuous. So that's a continuous function. So they first off they want us to begin with the left endpoint. That's right there, and that's the point 0, 0, right? Point 0, 0 there. Okay, and then they want us to find the coordinates. So now, that point, I don't know how you're supposed to find that point unless you look at the third graph down here. You can tell it's up at 6 and it's over at 3. So this one's over 3, up 6. So that's what we put here. Over 3, up 6. That's the point 36. Now we get to the final picture. And so now what do they want us to say? They basically want us to see that as we go um, f of 0, so this point right here is f of 0. That height, the height of the point at 0, at x is 0. And then the one on the right, this is f of 3, because it's at 3, it's the height at 3. Well, in between those is this right here, which is a height of 1. 1 is in between the height of the function at 0 and the height of the function at 3. Right? 1 is in between this height and that height. Meaning so it's got to hit that 1 at some point. And when it does, this is the graph of x squared minus, what was it, root 3x? Yeah, root 3x. We know right there where it hits height of 1, it'll be equal to 1. That was the equation we were trying to solve, right? Right here. So how do we know it's going to do that? Well, this is the graph, x squared minus 3x, minus root 3x, and we know it's going to equal 1, be at a height of 1 right here, some point between 0 and 3. Why? Because at 0, it starts below a height of 1, and at 3, it ends up above a height of 1. And it's a continuous function, so it can't just go there and then jump over that. It's got to hit all the points, so it's got to hit the height of 1, because 1 is between f of 0 and f of 3. So there we go. That's what the intermediate value theorem says. It's going to hit all intermediate values. If it goes from one point to another point, it's a continuous function. It's got to hit all the heights in between. Specifically, it's got to hit this height of 1, so it's got to equal 1 at some x value between 0 and 3. Between 0 and 3. There's going to be an x value where it equals 1. That's the intermediate value theorem for continuous functions.